Welcome back, my friends, to the D-Rate the Hate podcast. I am your host, Wilk of WilksWorld.com, and I am so incredibly grateful that you are taking the time to join me for another powerful DTH episode. Friends, at the D-Rate the Hate podcast, it's all about bettering the world one attitude at a time. See, we did not create the hate, but with your help, we can derate the hate. That all starts with gratitude and personal accountability. We cannot control everything that happens to us in life, but we can control how we react to it. How we act, how we react, no matter what happens to us, how we react to it makes the difference. Friends, there is only one good thing about a bad attitude, and that is that we have the ability as individuals to change it. Here on the DTH podcast, we strive to bring you great guests and provide tools to do just that. Please be sure to share it with your friends. Subscribe if you haven't done so. Ratings and feedback are always greatly appreciated. And with that, let's get to this week's episode. Friends, as you've heard me say time and time again on the D-Rate the Hate podcast, happiness is a moral obligation. Now, of course, I did not make that up. I've heard it several times from someone I considered to be a mentor, and that is Dennis Prager. Now, with that said, again, we have a moral obligation to all of those around us to try to be happy people. Now, my guest this week, Amir Siddiqui, fully understands that happiness is not a destination, but it is a journey. Now, following a series of disappointments as a young man, Amir Siddiqui became depressed and suicidal. He spent the next 8 years pursuing personal growth and completely turned his life around. Amir aspires to become a life coach so he can share his experiences with others in an effort to make their lives better too. Amir joins me for this episode to talk about his book, From Suicidal to Serene, in hopes that his experiences, his memoir, can help others on their journey to happiness the way that it did for him. Welcome to the D-Rate the Hate podcast, Amir Siddiqui. Here we go. Amir Siddiqui, thank you for joining me on the D-Rate the Hate podcast. I appreciate your time today.
Well, thank you for having me here. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, great to have you. I know you had reached out to me. I'm always looking for stories of people who triumphed over adversity, people who have been able to turn their lives around with a better mindset. And I saw the book that you had written, From Suicidal to Serene. And, you know, the serenity prayer is something that has been a monumental in my life and my own transformation. So when I saw that title, Amir, From Suicidal to Serene, I knew I wanted to talk to you. So thank you so much for reaching out to the D-Rate the Hate podcast. It's certainly a pleasure to speak with you today. So, but first, tell me a little bit about yourself, Amir. I know from what I've been able to gather, you immigrated to the United States from Pakistan back in the 90s. But go ahead and tell me your story. Tell the DTH listeners how your journey to the United States actually got started.
Sure. So I came to United States on F1 visa, and I was studying computer information systems in Ypsilanti, Michigan. But I screwed up on both semesters, and I got depressed, and then I did MCSE, which is a Microsoft Certified Systems Engineer. The point is, I was driven, I was hardworking, but then when I did MCSE and trying to find a job, I could not. So those failures devastating me. First, failure to acquire a degree, and then did the MCSE, but unable to get the job. I got into debt, even filed a bankruptcy.
Oh,
But the question is why it happened. So why I was not able to accomplish anything. That is the main reason, main cause. To let the listener know, I had mental, physical, an emotional ailment since my childhood.
Oh,
I
yeah.
experience, yeah, and I experience fear, anger, resentment, bitterness, jealousy, all those emotions on a predominant basis.
All
And
those all those ugly emotions they bring people down, right? They uh
Mhm,
they stand as barriers to any kind of success, and sometimes those different emotions, they just start to feed on each other.
mhm, that's right. That's right. And as you say, sick mind leads to sick body, and sick body leads to sick mind. So I develop other physical ailment, and the sick body and sick mind wreak havoc on all parts of my life, from social life to work life to job, sleep, you name it. And my life was so miserable that I become suicidal from 2001, 2002. And that's how the name came from my book, how I was. But the main reason is why I was because I went through complex trauma in my childhood and it messed my life up in a big time.
Yep.
So when I did the best I could, I took every medicine you can think of, Abilify, Paxil, Zoloft, Spardel, Depacort, lithium, Xanax, you name it. But those medicine did not help me. I even received around 55 sessions of cognitive behavior therapy, and they did not help me either. And I didn't know at that time, but I know now the therapy is good, cognitive behavior therapy, but they don't help you with the challenges if they lie in deep subconscious mind. So I went through trauma, and that's why these modalities did not help me. And I don't know what could I do. So I lived like that for many more years until 2015. And that's where my journey started. A
That's when your
journey of
journey
healing.
started.
Yep, yep. That's journey of feeling of personal growth. That's right.
Okay. Well, yeah, and that kind of leads me to my next question, Amir, is you say that happiness and being happy and being healthy is a journey, not a destination. And I think that's an important way to put it, because a lot of people think, well, once I'm there, right? But it's not a there. It's not a destination. It is really a journey, and it's an everlasting journey. It's a journey that has to continue on and on, right? So talk to me about that. What did you mean when you said being happy and healthy is a journey, not a destination?
Okay, good question. So, first of all, it's a journey because you cannot take any magic pill or magic diet and magic therapy and few months or a few weeks you are healed. It does not work that way. At least not for me. So that's one. And second, life happens. You lose your job, uh, COVID happens, you get divorced, lose your house, you file bankruptcy. Life gives you challenges all the time. And so you cannot be in a static position. Life is not static, it's dynamic, it's moving. So we have to keep growing. We cannot stay at one place. Say, yep, I got my PhD, I am done, I got the job. Maybe in 70s and 60s, only in the area of finances, job, yes. But other than that, you have to develop, you have to grow as nature intend meant to do. So change is inevitable, growth is a choice.
Right. Change is inevitable. Growth is a choice. That's a fantastic statement. I mean, yeah, well, life is all about choices, right? I mean, we
Yep.
have to we have to make choices, and we have to make good choices, because all of our choices have consequences. All of our choices have ramifications. If we don't make the right choices, things are going to go the wrong way. And it's just incredibly important that we think through things. And as you said, it's not a static thing. Life happens. So as life happens, we can either allow life to happen to us, or we can make life the life that we want it to be, right?
That is correct. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, that's good advice, man. That's good way to think about it. So there's a lot of life coaches out there, Amir. I mean, everybody's trying to be a life coach or some kind of personal coach these days. Tell me, Amir, what makes you stand out from your typical life coach? What is your specialty? What makes you shine?
Okay, just a quick thing. As I said in my book, that I'm on a journey to become life coach. I'm not a life coach yet. Now, having said that, I'm on a journey. But what I believe, the strong point I have been through all those things: emotional challenges, physical challenges, mental challenges. And if you have not been there, you only read theory books. Like, for example, my psychiatrist and psychologist. So they prescribed me so many medicine, which I named 10 minutes earlier. They gave me therapy, and they were great people. Don't get me wrong, but they did not know the difference of different types of therapy, like EMDR, hypnotherapy, or psychotherapy. Uh, those work with the challenges of subconscious mind. Cognitive behavior therapy does not. And how do I know? Because I have received cognitive behavior therapy, EMDR therapy, and hypnotherapy. So I have done that. I have been there, and that's the difference. So all the negative emotion I mentioned, I experience physical ailment. I experience, if you only read theory, is good, but you never been there, at least in my knowledge, it's in my mind.
Yep. It's hard to teach people how to swim if you've never been in the water, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's awfully tough. And yeah, I mean it's terrible that you've had to go through what you've gone through, but when you can speak to that from a position of experience, when you can you have a much stronger sense of empathy, you're able to really dive into those problems with people because you've been there, you've done that, you've seen that, you felt that. Like you said, those emotions, you've gone through that roller coaster of hell, so to speak, and being able to speak to that with different people kind of gives you a leg up. I get it. Yeah, no, that's I understand. Yeah, that's like one of the things that I talk about a lot here on this podcast is going from being a very angry person when I was younger and a lot of yelling, a lot of breaking things, a lot of just intense situations where I allowed my emotions to dictate my actions quite often. And now I'm a different person. Now I don't allow that to happen. I don't walk that path anymore, but I can certainly speak to it with people that are in that position, and it's really, kind of going back to what you were talking about earlier, Amir, is just making sure that people understand that life happens, things happen. There are going to be tons of things that happen outside of our control, and it's really a matter of how we react to them, how we choose to deal with those situations is what makes the difference. Because there's going to be so many things in life that are outside of our control. And if you can help people through your own experience, if you can help those people to better understand and better react in a better way, that really makes a difference. That's how we better the world. That's why we do the things that we do, right?
That's correct. That's
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah, no, that's good. So talk to me about your book, Amir. So I know you said that you fell into a deep and dark spot. You fell into depression. The medications were not working. The different types of therapy were not necessarily working. What was it that you did, and how did you find that serenity that you talk about in the book, and what can other people, if they go out and buy, from suicidal to serene, what are they going to find in that book, Amir?
Okay, so that's a good question. First of all, the health, it has to be on all three levels: body, mind, spirit. If you only treat body, it's not gonna work, maybe to some extent. And again, I have tried healthy diet full of whole food, right? Protein, fiber, less carbohydrate, all that. They help me a lot. They make me feel good and energetic. But, and here's the but, when I get to traffic or another thing, my pattern comes out. So it has to be meaning mindset, body, diet, exercise. You have to come connection with the nature, social connection. You have to combine all those components to have a complete health. And that's why I wrote the book, because I have read many books, and the books talk about either dimension of mindset, which is very important, no doubt about it, or they talk about healthy diet, all those like Dr. Mark Hyman, all those. But I wanted to combine from my experience how they all connect, like what healthy diet can do for you or what it cannot do for you, and how important is a mindset and what topic can help you. And that's the purpose, like combine all those different dimensions of, of health and happiness. And even happiness, talk about, you know, the difference between fun and happiness. So fun is great, but fun is more shallow and less enduring. But happiness is, of course, it's a deep inner feeling I talk about in my book, which
Hmm.
of course I was not aware of it. Don't get me wrong. If you have fun, it makes you feel good, but then you have to do other things too. And and that's the point.
Hmm.
So basically my book is a hybrid book. So it's a part memoir and part health book, meaning I share my stories to inspire. Purpose is to inspire. But then if you inspire somebody and they have nothing to take action, then it's no good. I call inspiration without action is entertainment. So yeah, you
Inspiration.
get inspired 10 minutes, 15 minutes, maybe an hour, maybe 2 hours, it's gonna die down. So inspiration is good, but then you have to have some technique, some paths to go there. So I made sure in my book they're both there. Inspiration with my stories, how I was, what I become, and I shared so many resources, properties, modalities that I use successfully and helped me during my journey. And that's what the reader will get out of it.
Good. Good. No, I think that there's probably a lot there that people that can take away, and that's always great when you are able to interject your own experiences, interject your own, just kind of like we talked about earlier. You know, you can't learn to swim from somebody who's never been in the water. So if you if you're sharing your experiences in the book, and then also, you know, that's where you get that inspiration, and then showing people the actions to take based on that inspiration, and that can help them walk an entirely different path. That's great. So Amir, talk to me. I know you had said earlier when we were talking in the pre-show, you had some ideas when you saw the title "Derate the Hate" for the podcast. It kind of inspired you to reach out, and there was something about that stood out to you. So talk to me about what your inspiration for reaching out to the Derate the Hate podcast was.
Okay, so the first question we have to be asking, why there is so much hate? Or let it put it differently, why is that we think a lot of hate there? So I thought about it myself too, because I'm a student of self-development, mind, diet, history, philosophy, all those subjects. That's my favorite, not computers. I
Mm-hmm.
was in. So here's what I think. why there is hate, or at least we see that. First, lack of understanding. People bring outside what they have inside. If they have love, they'll bring out love. And if they have a hate, they bring out hate. So they have to acquire understanding so they can love themselves, and that's the beginning. You cannot love somebody without first loving yourself. So that's
Absolutely.
one. That's one reason. Second is social media. So hate was there before too, but social media multiply the effects of negative and positive content and create attraction and attention for it, which wasn't the case in the past. So that's second reason. Third is, but people have to understand, which is kind of a deep. Everything is connected. When I say everything, I meant everything. Diet and food, physical health, mental health, economy, demography, weather. I can just go on and on. So having said that, for example, diet. The people eat average diet, lot of junk food, lot of heavy food, uh, deep fried food, all those things they don't eat. Whole food full of nuts, seeds, all those. And a person gonna eat that, they're not gonna have energy for their mind and body to think right. Uh, that's third reason, food. And fourth thing, of course, I can go on for many reasons. And fourth is economy. The middle class of US and Europe has been devastated during last 30 years. And people lose their family, their job, their income, and all those. Because technology grew so fast, but we did not develop the structure like for school, prison, politics, everything else. So I think what should have happened, that public private partnership, to people can develop higher skills to get the job they can provide for. So that's one. Of course, I can go on, write a
Mhm.
whole book why there's a hate, but I just
Yeah.
gave you four pointers, why there's a hate, at least what I think.
Well, yeah, no, and I think you make a couple good points there, but it really comes down to just like I know you said that computers were not your favorite thing, but like a computer, it's garbage in, garbage out, right?
Yeah.
If you're ingesting a bunch of garbage like on social media and hanging around with people who are negative and doing things, running in circles where people are doing bad things, you're just typically going to end up in the same way, right? The things that you ingest are going to be the things that you project. If you're ingesting a bunch of hate-filled nonsense on social media, the things that you're going to spread are going to be hate-filled nonsense on social media or whatever platform or whatever avenue that you're putting stuff out. So same way with food and I don't care if it's physical health or mental health or what we're talking about is what you ingest, what you have inside you is what you're going to project outside of you. So that's a good point, Amir. Thank you for making it. That's it's so true. So people have to be very conscious of what they're reading, what they're ingesting, what they're looking at, what they're gonna, because that's gonna be the same kind of stuff that you're putting out. If you're taking in a whole bunch of negativity, you're gonna be putting out a whole bunch of negativity. It's just gonna be the way that things work. So, but all right, Amir. Well, hey, so where can people go to find out more about your book, From Suicidal to Serene? Find out more about the story of Amir Siddiqui and how you were able to overcome your suicide, your pain, your past trauma. Where can they go to find that information?
So everything is in my website, and website name is the name of my book, From Suicidal to Serene.com. And I wrote some bi-weekly blogs. They're on my website. Uh, all the podcasts I have been appeared and they are aired. Then my website, and of course, it's a two-page guide about some tips you can start improving your physical and mental health. And by the way, those tips are not part of the book. I
Okay.
created after the book, and it's free. All you have to do just submit your email, and you get it as a three-part thing. So all in the one place, my website.
All right, very good. Well, from suicidal to serene.com, you can find out more about Amir Siddiqui and all the things that he's up to and the different ways that he's been able to overcome the trauma and the pain of his past. From suicidal to serene by Amir Siddiqui. Thank you so much, Amir. I appreciate your time today.
Well, thank you for having me.
Friends, if there's anything in this episode that provided exceptional value to you, please make sure to hit that share button. Share it with your friends, share it far and wide. And of course, if you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe right from our website so you can get the D-Rate the Hate podcast sent to your email inbox every week. So this is Wilk wrapping up for the week saying get out there, be kind to one another, be grateful for everything that you've got, and remember it's up to you to make each and every day the day that you want it to be. If there is something that you would like to share with me, you can catch me on most social media platforms, or you can email me directly, wilk@wilksworld.com. With that, my friends, I am going to back on out of here, and we will catch you next week. Take care.